Chapter 31. And Moshe went and spoke these words to all Israel. And he said to them, I am 120 years old today. I am no longer able to go out and come in. And Yahuwah has said to me, You do not pass over this Jordan. Yahuwah your Elohim himself is passing over before you. He shall destroy these nations from before you, and you possess them. Yehoshua himself is passing over before you, as Yahuwah has spoken. And Yahuwah shall do to them as he did to Sichon and to Og, the sovereigns of the Amorites and their land, when he destroyed them. And Yahuwah shall give them over to you, and you shall do to them according to all the command which I have commanded you. Be strong and courageous, do not fear nor be afraid of them, for it is Yahuwah your Elohim who is going with you. He does not fail you nor forsake you. And Moshe called Yehoshua and said to him before the eyes of all Israel, Be strong and courageous, for you are going with this people to the land which Yahuwah has sworn to their fathers to give them, and you are to let them inherit it. And it is Yahuwah who is going before you. He himself is with you. He does not fail you nor forsake you. Do not fear nor be discouraged. And Moshe wrote this Torah and gave it to the priests, the sons of Levi, who bore the ark of the covenant of Yahuwah, and to all the elders of Israel. And Moshe commanded them, saying, At the end of 7 years, at the appointed time of the year of release, at the festival of Sukkot, when all Israel comes to appear before Yahuwah your Elohim in the place which he chooses, read this Torah before all Israel in their hearing. Assemble the people, the men and the women and the little ones, and your sojourner who is within your gates, so that they hear, and so that they learn to fear Yahuwah your Elohim, and guard to do all the words of this Torah. And their children who have not known it should hear and learn to fear Yahuwah your Elohim as long as you live in the land you are passing over the Jordan to possess. And Yahuwah said to Moshe, See, the days have drawn near for you to die. Call Yehoshua and present yourselves in the tent of appointment, so that I command him. And Moshe and Yehoshua went and presented themselves in the tent of appointment. And Yahuwah appeared at the tent in a column of a cloud, and the column of a cloud stood above the door of the tent. And Yahuwah said to Moshe, See, you are about to sleep with your fathers, and this people shall rise and whore after the mighty ones of the strangers of the land into the midst of which they shall enter, and forsake me and break my covenant which I have made with them. Then my displeasure shall burn against them in that day, and I shall forsake them and hide my face from them, and they shall be consumed. And many evils and distresses shall come upon them, and it shall be that in what said in that day, Is it not because our Elohim is not in our midst that these evils have come upon us? And I shall certainly hide my face in that day because of all the evil which they have done, for they shall turn to other mighty ones. And now write down this song for yourselves, and teach it to the children of Israel. Put it in their mouths, so that this song is to me for a witness against the children of Israel. And I shall bring them to the land flowing with milk and honey, of which I swore to their fathers, and they shall eat and be satisfied and be fat. Then they shall turn to other mighty ones, and they shall serve them, and scorn me, and break my covenant. And it shall be, when many evils and distresses come upon them, that this song shall answer before them as a witness. For it is not to be forgotten in the mouths of their seed, for I know their thoughts which they are forming today, even before I bring them to the land of which I swore to give them. And Moshe wrote this song in the same day, and taught it to the children of Israel. And he commanded Yehoshua son of Nun, and said, Be strong and courageous, for you are to bring the children of Israel into the land which I swore to them, and I myself am with you. And it came to be, when Moshe had completed writing the words of this Torah in a book, unto the completion, that Moshe commanded the Levites, who bore the ark of the covenant of Yahuwah, saying, Take this book of the Torah, and you shall place it beside the ark of the covenant of Yahuwah your Elohim, and it shall be there as a witness against you. For I myself know your rebellion and your stiff neck. See, while I am still alive with you today, you have been rebellious against Yahuwah, then how much more after my death? Assemble unto me all the elders of your tribes and your officers, so that I speak these words in their hearing, and call the heavens and the earth to witness against them. For I know that after my death you shall do very corruptly, and turn aside from the way which I have commanded you. And evil shall come to you in the latter days, because you do what is evil in the eyes of Yahuwah, to provoke him through the works of your hands. So Moshe spoke in the hearing of all the assembly of Israel the words of this song to their completion. Chapter 32. Give ear, O heavens, and let me speak, and hear, O earth, the words of my mouth. Let my instruction fall as rain, my speech drop down as dew, as fine rain on the tender plants, and as showers on the grass. For I proclaim the name of Yahuwah, ascribe greatness to our Elohim. The rock, his work is perfect. For all his ways are right ruling, an El of truth and without unrighteousness. Righteous and straight is he. A twisted and crooked generation has corrupted itself. They are blemished, they are not his children. Do you do this to Yahuwah, O foolish and unwise people? Is he not your father who bought you, who created you and established you? Remember the days of old, consider the years of many generations. Ask your father and let him show you, your elders and let them say to you. When the Most High gave the nations their inheritance, when he separated the sons of Adam, he set the boundaries of the peoples according to the number of children of Israel. For the portion of Yahuwah is his people, Yaakov his allotted inheritance. He found him in a wilderness and in a wasted, howling desert. He encompassed him, he made him understand. He watched over him as the apple of his eye. As an eagle stirs up its nest, flutters over its young, spreading out its wings, taking them up, bearing them on its wings, Yahuwah alone led him. And there was no strange mighty one with him. He made him ride in the heights of the earth, and he ate the fruit of the fields, and he made him to draw honey from the rock, and oil from the flinty rock, curd from the cattle, and milk of the flock, with fat of lambs, and rams of the breed of Bashan, and goats with the choicest wheat, and you drink wine, the blood of the grapes. But Yeshurun grew fat and kicked, and you grew fat, you grew thick. You are covered with fat, so he forsook Eloah, who made him, and scorned the rock of his deliverance. They moved him to jealousy with foreign matters, with abominations they provoked him. They slaughtered the demons, not Eloah. Mighty ones they did not know. New ones who came lately, which your fathers did not fear. You neglected the rock who brought you forth, and forgot the El who fathered you. And Yahuwah saw and despised, because of the provocation of his sons and his daughters. And he said, Let me hide my face from them. Let me see what their end is. For they are a perverse generation, children in whom there is no trusting. They made me jealous by what is not El. They provoked me with their worthless matters. But I make them jealous by those who are no people. I provoke them with a foolish nation. For a fire was kindled in my wrath, and burns to the bottom of Sheol, and consumes the earth and its increase, and sets on fire the foundations of the mountains. I gather evils upon them, I use up my arrows upon them, wasted by scarcity of food, and consumed by heat and bitter destruction. And the teeth of beasts I send upon them, with the poison of serpents of the dust. The sword bereaves from the outside, and fear from within. Both young man and maiden, nursing child, and with the man of gray hairs. I said, I should blow them away, I should make the remembrance of them to cease from among men. If I did not fear the enemy's taunt, lest their adversaries misunderstand, lest they say, Our hand is high, and Yahuwah has not done all this. For they are a nation lost to counsel, and there is no understanding in them. If they are wise, they would understand this, they would consider their latter end. How would one chase 1,000, and two put 10,000 to flight, unless their rock had sold them, and Yahuwah had given them up? For the rock is not like our rock, even our enemies are judges. Their vine is the vine of Sedom, and the fields of Amorah. Their grapes are grapes of gall, their clusters are bitter. Their wine is the poison of serpents, and the fierce venom of cobras. Is it not stored up with me, sealed up among my treasures? Vengeance is mine in repayment at the time their foot slips, for near is the day of their calamity, and the matters prepared are hastening to them. For Yahuwah rightly rules his people, and has compassion on his servants. When he sees that their power is gone, and there is no one remaining, shut up or at large, and he shall say, Where are their mighty ones, the rock in whom they sought refuge, who ate the fat of their slaughterings, and drank the wine of their drink offering? Let them arise and help you, let it be a hiding place for you. See now that I am he, and there is no Elohim besides me. I put to death, and I make alive. I have wounded, and I heal. And from my hand no one delivers, for I lift my hand to the heavens, and shall say, As I live forever, if I have sharpened my flashing sword, and my hand takes hold on judgment, I shall return vengeance to my enemies, and repay those who hate me. I make my arrows drunk with blood, and my sword devours flesh, and the blood of the slain and the captives from the long-haired enemy chiefs. O nations, acclaim his people, for he avenges the blood of his servants, and returns vengeance to his adversaries, and shall pardon his land, his people. Then Moshe came, and Hoshea son of Nun, and spoke all the words of this song in the hearing of the people. And when Moshe ended speaking all these words to all Israel, he said to them, Set your heart on all the words with which I warn you today, so that you command your children to guard to do all the words of this Torah. For it is not a worthless word for you, because it is your life, and by this word you prolong your days on the soil which you pass over the Jordan to possess. And Yahuwah spoke to Moshe that same day, saying, Go up this mountain of the Abarim, Mount Nebo, which is in the land of Moab, which is opposite Jericho, and look at the land of Canaan, which I give to the children of Israel as a possession. And die on the mountain which you ascend, and be gathered to your people, as Aharon your brother died on Mount Hor, and was gathered to his people. Because you trespassed against me in the midst of the children of Israel, at the waters of Meribah, Kadesh, and the wilderness of Sin, because you did not set me apart in the midst of the children of Israel. For you are to look at the land before you, but not enter there, into the land which I am giving to the children of Israel. Chapter 33. And this is the blessing with which Moshe the man of Elohim blessed the children of Israel before his death. And he said, Yahuwah came from Sinai, and rose from Seir for them. He shone forth from Mount Paran, and came with 10,000 of set-apart ones, at his right hand a law of fire for them. Indeed, he loves the peoples, all his set-apart ones are in your hand, and they sat down at your feet, receiving your words. Moshe commanded us a Torah, and an inheritance of the assembly of Yaakov, and he was sovereign in Yeshurun. When the heads of the people were gathered, the tribes of Israel, let Reuben live and not die, and let his men be numbered, and this of Yehuda. And he said, Hear, Yahuwah, the voice of Yehuda, and bring him to his people. His hand shall fight for him, and you be a help against his enemies. And of Levi he said, Your Tumim and your Urim belong to your lovingly committed one, whom you tried at Massah, with whom you contended at the waters of Meribah, who said of his father and mother, I have not seen them. And he did not acknowledge his brothers, or know his own children, for they have guarded your word and watched over your covenant. They teach your right rulings to Yaakov, and your Torah to Israel. They put incense before you, and a complete ascending offering on your slaughter place. O Yahuwah, bless his strength, and accept the work of his hands. Smite the loins of those who rise up against him, and of those who hate him, that they rise no more. Of Benjamin he said, Let the beloved of Yahuwah dwell in safety by him, shielding him all the day, as he dwells between his shoulders. And of Yosef he said, Blessed of Yahuwah is his land, with the choicest from the heavens, with the dew and the deep lying beneath, with the choice fruits of the sun, with the choice yield of the months, with the finest of the ancient mountains, with the choicest of the everlasting hills, with the choicest of the earth and all that fills it, and the good pleasure of him who dwelt in the bush. That it come on the head of Yosef, and on the crown of the head of him who was separate from his brothers. His splendor is like a firstborn bull, and his horns are like the horns of the wild ox. With him he pushes the peoples to the ends of the earth, and they are the 10,000s of Ephraim, and they are the thousands of Manasseh. And of Zebulun he said, Rejoice, O Zebulun, in your going out, and Issachar in your tents. They call peoples to the mountain, there they slaughter slaughterings of righteousness, for they draw from the riches of the seas the treasures hidden in the sand. And of Gad he said, Blessed is he who enlarges Gad. He dwells as a lion, and shall tear off the arm, also the crown. And he chose the best for himself, for there the portion of the inscriber was hidden. And he came with the heads of the people. The righteousness of Yahuwah he did, and his right rulings of Israel. And of Dan he said, Dan is a lion's cub, that leaps from Bashan. And of Naphtali he said, O Naphtali, satisfied with pleasure, and filled with the blessings of Yahuwah, possess the west and the south. And of Asher he said, Asher is most blessed of sons. Let him be accepted by his brothers, and dip his foot in oil. Your sandals are iron and bronze, and your strength as your days. O Yeshurun, there is no one like El, riding the heavens to help you, and on the clouds in his excellency. The Elohim of old is a refuge, and beneath are everlasting arms. And he drives out the enemy from before you, and says, Destroy. Thus Israel dwells in safety, in the fountain of Yaakov alone, in a land of grain and new wine. His heavens also drop down dew. Blessed are you, O Israel, who is like you, a people saved by Yahuwah, the shield of your help, and he who is the sword of your excellency. And your enemies are subdued before you, and you tread down their high places. Chapter 34. And Moshe went up from the desert plains of Moab to Mount Nebo, to the top of Pisgah, which is opposite Jericho. And Yahuwah showed him all the land of Gilead as far as Dan, and all Naphtali, and the land of Ephraim and Manasseh, and all the land of Yehuda as far as the western sea. and the Negeb and the plain of the valley of Jericho, the city of palm trees, as far as Soar. And Yahuwah said to him, This is the land of which I swore to Abraham, to Yitzchak, and to Yaakov, saying, To your seed I give it. I have let you look at it with your eyes, but you do not pass over there. And Moshe, the servant of Yahuwah, died there in the land of Moab, according to the mouth of Yahuwah. And he buried him in a valley in the land of Moab, opposite Beth Peor, and no one knows his burial place to this day. And Moshe was 120 years old when he died. His eyes were not dim, nor his freshness gone. And the children of Israel wept for Moshe in the desert plains of Moab 30 days, and the days of weeping and mourning for Moshe were completed. And Yehoshua, son of Nun, was filled with the spirit of wisdom, for Moshe had laid his hands on him. And the children of Israel listened to him, and did as Yahuwah had commanded Moshe. And since then no prophet has arisen in Israel like Moshe, whom Yahuwah knew face to face. For all the signs and wonders which Yahuwah sent him to do in the land of Mitzrayim, before Pharaoh and before all his servants and in all his land, and for all that strong hand and all the great fearsome deeds which Moshe did before the eyes of all Israel.